Oh man, really? Those things happen from time to time, but it's cool. I'm not really tripping off of it. What happened was it actually the connection disconnected from me from the server for a quick sec. Those things happen when you're getting your game on, so um, it's just a byproduct of being on the console and streaming and whatnot. Normally, it's a little bit more fluid than running on the PC, but those things happen when you're streaming, so I can't really be overly upset about that. But let's go back into it. Let's go back to what I was looking at on this second setup. So the cat was named was Fearless. This is what we're looking at. Something quick, a lot of green. I could counteract and go green for green, maybe run fast. But what I'm gonna do, even though I don't think it's a completely tough deck to run against, the Templar and the Boar Rider is always going to pose problems. I think when I'm gonna run against it, I'm gonna run this troop here. This is one of my B squads I've been rocking with. So running against like that, what you see in that particular deck, the way that it's set up, is typical of what I've been seeing in the meta lately. A lot of green heavy decks, and so when you're running decks that are green heavy, it's definitely a little bit difficult to contend with if you don't have the right decks to counteract it. I could have ran my green deck to balance that out, but I didn't. I didn't want to necessarily try it against it just yet. What I was trying to do is maybe give a little bit different look, just to see if it will balance out, like if the meta kind of balance out for me in this particular instance. So I'm gonna give this deck a little bit of shine and see if it works out. This deck is basically like it's like an upside down blue brown combo deck is what I would call it. It's basically, I know you don't see a lot of blues and browns on this particular deck, but this deck is basically predicated upon utilizing the blue gems and the brown gems pretty effectively and balancing the two between each other. And if they work out in sequence, it actually works out to be a very good combination. But the problem with it is it doesn't always work out in the right sequence the way that it's supposed to. Sometimes they work way out of sequence, and currently it's not working in the sequence that I want it to. But we're gonna try to push through it anyway. I could have used my undercut deck and it would have been a little bit better, but it's not a problem. I think I could push through it anyway, but we'll see. Provided that the drops run pretty efficiently, I think we'll be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and take a swing at him right here. Yeah, because he's definitely trying to ramp up his Boar Rider real fast. Let's do this. Let's change up. That didn't work out. That's a good play. That didn't work out the way I wanted to. I definitely picked the wrong one. Here's what I'm gonna do here. Um, I think going blue to brown would probably be the right way to go because I won't be able to use any ramp up here. So, or I could kind of maybe stick blue, maybe stick to the blues currently, and maybe yeah, I could probably stick to the blues and maybe kind of hold tight about running the blue brown combo. Because I think what's going to be more important is if I could get some greens. I think I'm going to need to get my Druid in play really fast. This is going to be a good hit. Need to get my Druid in play really fast to kind of maybe slow him down a little bit. I think that's going to be the right way to go about this. Let's see. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's go. Let's play the moons. He's gonna play a blue to shield up. Not a horrible play because shielding up definitely will protect him some because the deck that I'm running will not allow me to go under. Um, I'm going to run this right now, and it's not because of anything else. I need to kind of get it out of the way so I could use some of the reds that are kind of popping up. So I have to get rid of it. The green's going to help.
Mana surge.
He's going to get a free play out of it. The green kind of ramped up pretty fast. Good ramp up, by the way. He could actually, it doesn't matter to me if he gets all those greens out of the way. It actually kind of benefits me that he kind of moves some of those greens because if he kind of slips up, I could definitely jump in and if he slips up in this instance, I could definitely jump in and possibly go ahead and take advantage of a few plays here. Play I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run this play here. I know they want me to run yellows, but I'm not. What I'm doing is setting up. He can run corruption. It's cool. He can run corruption. That is not a problem at all. Worst case scenario, what I could do is get my druid ready. Take a couple of free swings. I know he's gonna boar rider. I'm gonna take a couple of free swings at it right now and maybe go from there. Stream, hold on.
A holy shield to protect us.
Hold on. Hold on. Go, what's going on? Sorry about that. I had to take care of that real fast. Family business. You know how we get down. Um, let's see. Let's do. Wow. Everything's turning up greens, huh? So I think what we're gonna do here is this. I could go blue yellow combo. I don't know. I mean, I could go green yellow combo. I don't think it's gonna matter. I could let him take it. I'm gonna actually have to run my druid and kind of slow this down a little bit.
Take this.
Wow. Wow. I don't have much choice in this matter. I think the setup is gonna be all wrong against this particular meta. Hey, what's going on now? I see you on the stream. I definitely appreciate you rocking with your boy, man. It's definitely an honor to have you on real fast. As you well see, this deck is not going too well at the moment. I kind of ran the wrong deck against this particular deck setup, so I don't know if I'll be able to squeeze this this hand out, but we're going to find out as we go along. But what I was talking about earlier, and I'll let you kind of get a little tidbit of what was going on earlier, is that when I was talking about maybe running the meta, and I know it's important because you're a Gems of War player, so I know this will be somewhat important to you. Getting a feel for what's going on when you're playing against certain decks, because how I went about playing my P versus P, I never really looked at the cards and what I was playing against. I always just played the decks as I just played the decks blindly, meaning that I never scouted, what my decks were about. And once I started scouting, I ran across something that was very important, and that's the meta. And knowing the meta means that knowing how the card structures are kind of playing across and having decks to kind of match up. Now, it didn't work out in this particular instance, and part of it not working out is there's always what I call the chance factor. There's always a factor that you're going to get unfortunate things that happen. Like you see here, you get an unfortunate drop, you get a couple of unfortunate plays that goes your way even with a good deck. But most of the time when you're playing P versus P, when you're playing Gems of War, the one thing that you really see a lot of is the same type of cards. One thing that you always see, you tend to see boar riders a lot. You tend to see rock worms has been kind of the meta as of late, and that's a perfect example of the changing of the meta, meaning that the changing of how like the cards that people play against you when they work on their offense or on their defense. And so what I would suggest is always having like maybe 3 or 4 specialty decks, that will be able to counteract those particular deck changes, because people are always using different decks. Like, I know like most Gems of War players, we have a couple of go-to decks. Like we have a legend deck that's a go-to, but what I've been doing as of late is been changing a lot of what I would call my B squad deck. In my B squad deck, the reason why I'm starting to change that over more often than not is simply because the way people are structuring their decks have changed. So I have to adjust to how the deck changes are going to be. So that would be one thing that I would suggest to you and to any other Gems of War player. Be mindful of what the meta is. Definitely scout and definitely be mindful of what's going on. Because a lot of times when we're playing, we're kind of playing it blindly. And at certain instances, we could blow through certain smaller decks, but there's going to be certain big decks or certain decks. Like you kind of see here, like I didn't prepare this deck exactly the right way, the way that it should have been. But if I would have prepared for it a little bit better, or maybe picked a slightly different deck, I think the meta would have been, I would think I would have accounted for the meta, what was going on, and it would have balanced out to be a lot better for me. Now still, even with that being said, I could still possibly squeeze this one out. But if I would have played a different deck, if I would have played like my undercut deck that played against true damage to go under his shield wall damage, this game would have been a lot easier to manage. But I ran the wrong deck, not intentionally, because I thought this deck would actually pick up the pace a little bit faster. But because it didn't, it made this match to be a lot harder match. And even still, I could still just as easily lose this match. A couple of bad plays here, a couple of mistakes there, and I could definitely lose this match, no question. And that's the thing about when you're playing P versus P in Gems of War. Not, being able to minimize the mistakes, because as you see for our squad, La Roca, we're actually trying to make a push to get into the 10th spot. We actually lost a little bit of ground, and part of the reason why is because I don't think all the players are adjusting to what's going on as far as like the way people are changing their decks and not making adjustments. They're just thinking that the decks that they have are just going to fly. And a lot of times, the decks that you have against certain other decks aren't going to be successful. And even, like I said, even with good legendary decks doesn't guarantee you anything, especially when you're going against other legendary decks. Doesn't guarantee that you're going to win. It gives you a better chance, but doesn't guarantee you anything. Don't switch. What you really have to do is really pay attention to what the gameplay is, how it's changing, and how you're going to best accommodate for those changes. And that's the one thing about gameplays. Your best game players, I don't care what game it is. I don't care if it's Gems of War. I don't care if it's Hearthstone. I don't care if it's League of Legends. I don't care if it's 2K basketball, Call of Duty, Transgalactic Tournament. Name your game, and I'm going to name you your best players, and I will name you the reason why they're great. You know why they're great? It's a simple concept. They know how to make adjustments. And if you're going to play any game and be successful, and I messed that play up. I gave him a shot at me. If you're going to play this game and be successful, you have to learn how to make adjustments, period. Because if you don't make adjustments, you're not going to win this game. And just like right now, like I did everything right and I left the play on the table. And I didn't care about leaving the play on the table per se, because I don't really think I'm going to win this game. But, these are the things that we have to pay attention to when we're playing the game. Making sure that we put ourselves in the best position possible. And a lot of times putting yourself in the best position possible means a couple of things. One, utilize all the tools that you have available to you. And one of the tools that I didn't use was the Scout tool. So that would be my first recommendation. Utilize Scout, utilize it well, understand what's going on against the decks that you're going against, and play accordingly. B, have decks that are able to match up against decks. You know, you got to be able to balance out. Because if you don't have decks that are able to balance out against other decks, you're just not going to win in that fashion either. Wow. Hold on. Oh, I don't have a 4. He could take me out. This is my only real play. Wow. Dog, he corrupted me so bad that I don't know if I'm going to be able to squeeze this out. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to squeeze this out. I've been trying my hardest to squeeze this hand out, and I really don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I've been getting really lucky as far as like having favorable drops. But oh man, this is gonna be so touch and go. Oh, you know what? Oh no, I won't be able to win it on this one. This one won't win it. But if he gets a hit, I'm toast. If he gets a hit, I am toast. Oh no, wait! Oh no, I thought I had him. I thought I had him. Man, I thought I had him right there. I gotta play the 4 green here. Oh, this is gonna be close. I can't. I know what they're saying. They're saying for me to drop the greens down. If I drop the greens down, it's over. So I can't play that play. That's a bad play too. I can't play this one here. I think the only play I could play is basically off to the side, and it fell into place anyway. But he's not gonna punish me for it. He could have, but he didn't. I should have lost that. He should have punished me for making that play because it wasn't a favorable drop. But he didn't, so he gave me another free run at it. And with that, I think I might have to play the greens. And hopefully I get a chance to get a drop on the blue or get this right here. So I barely got out of dodge with that. And that was cool, even though I made a couple of mistakes in the process. I shouldn't have won that match. But because I did, it was cool because actually it gives us a much needed trophy for 1. For 2, it kind of showed you that you just have to be persistent in the game because even the computer makes mistakes or they make the wrong read too. And that's one of the things I like about Gems Award. They're not going to make perfect plays every single time. They will make the best play, but it's not going to be always the perfect play. And sometimes the best play is not what they indicate to you. But the funny thing is when you see the indications of what they intend to play, you'll see that okay, if they think that this is the best play, I may have a different play that will be able to counteract their best play. So that's one thing. Now, here's what I haven't been using. You see the scout, I haven't really been scouting. And now that I see what I'm scouting, I see kind of what I'm working against. This is going to be a brown heavy deck. It's going to be a high pop, high legend deck. Now, I could do one of two things. I could either go high and hard with my legend deck. I could put my legend deck against his, and I think, to be honest with you, that my legend deck will be able to match up with his legend deck, and in most instances will be able to beat his legend deck. But I'm not going to do that, and it's not for anything else because I'm going to try something a little bit different. The meta would tell me to go with this deck instead, which is a similar deck to what I ran earlier. And the reason why I said that this is important is because this is my undercut deck. This actually runs a lot of true damage. So while he's taking his time to ramp up, I could ramp up too and maybe get some true damage and actually hit below him. Because he's going to have a lot of things that's going to be able to hit high, hard, and fast. Meaning that he's going to be able to do a lot of damage early on. If I don't know, later on in the match, if he ramps up really quick. And he has the potential to ramp up really fast. My job is to try to ramp up a little bit quicker than him and to see if I could balance out. But I didn't get any good gems to actually help this cause. And this is the other thing, part of the meta that you're talking about. Part of the meta is how is the gem structure from the start. And certain times, if you're not paying attention to what the gem structure is at the very beginning, you know, that's important too, because basing your deck is not just basing your deck upon the cards that you see on the side, it's also basing it upon what you're seeing as far as you know, how the gems are starting off, because good starting position with your gems helps too. Because if you could get a good jump at the very beginning, it does help you, especially when you're going against decks that takes some time to build up. And that's what I'm going up against right now. I'm going up against a good high ramp up deck. I'm gonna play this play right here. You're going against a good high ramp up deck in which it can actually, once it gets started, it can actually be very, very successful, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I think the deck that I chose against it, I think it's the right play. I think it helps out just enough. I think I'll be able to start before he will. I think I'll be able to start. And what I mean by starting is I think I'll be able to do some damage to him before he really starts like picking me apart. Maybe. Still got to make some good plays here. So what I didn't do in this instance, I didn't really do anything to like boost up draw or anything. So it's kind of going to put me at a disadvantage making this play, but I have to. So I have to play the reds a little bit. He's going to get first pop with War and Peace, and that's a very good start because it gives him a quick 6. But what this play was going to do for me is actually set up my Shadow Dragon, and setting up my Shadow Dragon in this instance will actually help me out a little bit too, because playing against their particular deck, even though I had a bad start, and that's what the meta did to me, it actually I actually picked the right cards, but the way that the board started off at the very beginning put me at a disadvantage. So the advantage was I picked the right cards. Disadvantage was I didn't have the gems to supplement my cards. That's all a part of the meta too. So some of it is a guess game. Some of it is, you know, are you making the right moves to kind of make the best guess to put yourself in the right position to be successful. And then you still have to play them the right way. You still have to play the decks the right way. So I still have to kind of make proper plays in the same fashion too. So this is all part of making your decks work. And everybody is different when it comes to their Gems of War gameplay, and they go about it completely different. But the way I've been going about it on mine is do what you should do when you're playing any game. Make your adjustments as you go along. So the better adjustments that you're making on the fly, I think the better off you're going to be. Right now, as you well see, even though I started off a little bit behind, he's going to blitz me. I'm still up by 1, and I'm gonna still be up by the same 1. And what I mean by 1 is I'm still up by 1 card versus I have 4 cards. He has 3, so I'm still up by 1 card currently. Hopefully I can kind of maintain that position. What I need to do, what I'm thinking is on this particular deck, I need to get my Lady Saphira up. And I know that you would think that that's a waste of play considering he's about to lay waste and take out one of my cards. Which I kind of anticipated that too by him making that move. But what it allows me to do is actually allows me to do something that's twofold. A, I could be able to run my Shadow Dragon and hit low. So it actually hits low, and I could actually, with the Saphira, I could actually be able to take that card out of play in the next play. So that's exactly what's going to happen now, is I'm actually going to be able to take that card out of position. And so I'll do that. So now I'm still running with the lead, and it's going to take him a quick moment to ramp up right now. So what I need to do is to ramp up as well. And I think the best way for me to kind of ramp up in a quick fashion is I'm gonna play the brown-red combination as they're showing, because it's the right way, because I do need draw to ramp, even though I got a super unfavorable drop in which it put me out of position, and that wasn't because of bad play. That was because I got an unfavorable drop, and those things happen too. And I know anybody who's played Gems of War has been affected by, you know, bad drops and bad plays, and that's not a bad play. It was just an unfortunate drop. Nothing you could really do about that. It's just that's all part of the randomness of the game, in which it's the gift and the curse, because even though you're making a right play, it still could be the wrong play. And so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna have to use my I'm gonna have to use my draw in this particular instance and hope for the best. And it actually gave me something a little bit favorable because hopefully I could be able to mana surge. And it does, which is perfect right now because at the very least, and I know what you're saying, take the whites and take them out of play. I'm going to say no, and here's the only reason why I'm going to say I'm not going to do that in this particular instance is because because it changed everything in reds and yellows, I'm going to actually throw the dice to see if it's going to actually help me. It didn't help me in this instance, but normally that play would help. Now, he's going to get the hit and he's going to get me out, but I had to take the chance there because I could have took the yellows out of play. He still was going to be able to hit either way it goes just because the way that the gems were falling. But it wasn't because of a bad play or being able to, not take the risk. Sometimes you have to take the risk. You have to take the chance on seeing how the gameplay is going to play for you. But in these instances, these are the things that you run against. Even though you could do all your scouting. So as you see here, Frost Reaver, Lady Saphira, Herdmaster Druid. That's what you're going up against. Now, I could do a few different things because I know that the Herdmaster, the Druid, and Lady Saphira are not strong cards. So I could do a couple of different things. And so what I'm going to do in this instance, I'm going to run this particular deck against it. And the reason why I'm going to run this particular deck is because it's not overpowering. It's not a bunch of legends kind of mixed into one, but it's something that I think that could probably balance out and maybe work too. And so I'm gonna try it. And this is just me kind of experimenting a little bit, but this is what you're looking at when you're dealing with the meta of the game. So, and this is one of those things that when I talk about the meta, this is one of those things that's very underrated, and really just being aware of deck changes, the way the cards are dropping, certain cards. If you've been watching me play, even in this particular game session, the one thing that you noticed is that you saw a lot of druids pop out. That's something that's new. That's something that's been in the meta as of late, in my particular meta. And this is one of those things, if you're playing Gems of War and you are playing pretty consistently, your meta may be completely different to what my meta is. So you can't go purely off of what you're seeing in my meta, but looking at me play kind of gives you an idea of what's going on when you're playing Gems of War, because it's going to look different. I mean, because you may be running against a bunch of boar riders. Like every time you're matching up in your P versus P, you're getting a bunch of boar riders thrown in front of you. That happens. Last week, that was my meta. I was getting boar rider on top of boar rider on top of boar rider. I couldn't play a match that didn't have a boar rider. Then towards the end of the week, what happened was it was rockworm, rockworm, rockworm. That's all that I was seeing all last week. So I had to construct my decks accordingly. And in this particular instance, now it's druid, druid, druid. Go figure. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not salty about it. It's just paying attention to what's going on in the game. And that's the thing about being a good game player. If I ever would teach you about anything about being a good game player in any game, I don't care what you're playing, always pay attention to what's going on in your gameplay. You got to be able to pay attention, and you got to be able to make adjustments, and sometimes you have to make adjustments on the fly too. And don't get it wrong, you can make every single pre-game setup and think that, oh, I saw the meta, these are the kind of cards I'm going against, I scouted, here's a deck I think is going to be successful. All that being said, you still got to be able to make, the right reads and make the right adjustments as well. So I think that's important too. So that would be one extremely good suggestion that I will make, is make adjustments. Be able to make pre-game adjustments, post-game adjustments. Games are all about how well you can adjust on the fly, even when you're playing something as casual as this. And this is not one of those, oh, I'm trying to be a competitive gamer type deal. No, but this applies to anything that you do. Anything gaming oriented and anything in life. Be able to make adjustments. You know why they're the most people who are successful? Your most successful people are people who are able to make adjustments, who are able to roll with change, make adjustments, and be successful. And that's very key. If you're going to be successful, be able to make change. and be able to roll with changes as they're thrown to you and be able to cater what you do to the adjustments that are thrown your way. Because life is all about changes and adjustments, and that's facts.
Mana surge.
So, with that, I still got another druid that I'm getting thrown at, and he's picking me apart a little bit. I think what I'm gonna do here, I can do something kind of tricky. I don't know if it's the right play, but I'm gonna run it anyway. I'm gonna run it out of sequence. Normally, I would drop the blue gems first, but I'm gonna actually change the blue gems to brown gems and go in that direction first and foremost. And then what I'm gonna do is actually flip it in reverse and throw some blue gems out to kind of balance out. And I know that's kind of a backwards way of doing it, but if you saw how it played out, I threw the brown gems first so I could get a free play. Threw the blue gems right back in so I could kind of balance those out too. And then what I could do here, I could actually go back and either go brown, I could go blue, or I could go ahead and attack. And in this instance, I'm gonna go ahead and attack. Take a free hit so I can actually ramp up. So if he actually takes out my character at the top, my secondary character is doing 24 damage right off top. So I could actually kind of ramp up and do some things pretty fast. So the play here is going to be the red, just like they're showing. That's the solid play. He's going to run the browns. That's exactly what I thought he was going to do. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue to ramp up the reds. I should have took the hit. I kind of snoozed on the hit. I should have took it. I should have took the hit, and even when you're kind of I was in tunnel vision mode. I was kind of setting up my deck, and I went tunnel vision a little bit. I didn't see that play. And what I mean by tunnel vision is I was focusing on doing one particular aspect and not really focusing on the board in its entirety, not looking at the board completely. I just went completely tunnel vision. So that's a good play. He deserved that play. He got that card based upon a mistake. That's on me. I can't even be mad at that because that was my bad. That was just bad gameplay. Those things happen. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna set up the 3. He's gonna get a hit. Oh, I'm not going to run blue to brown because he'll be able to counteract that as well. So, what I'm thinking here is I think I'm going to run those up high.
Mana surge.
Yeah, I think that was an okay play. It was okay, wasn't great, wasn't horrible. I think what I can do here is I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and set up the druid. I think the druid's going to get me out of trouble.
Mana surge.
I'm not going to make the mistake this time. I'm going to go ahead and get the Saphira out of the way. I'm not going to be playing around with them anymore. 3, 2. I'm gonna throw this out here. I'm gonna throw this out here to run the Petrify, and it's really just to get the Herdmaster out of the way. He could go ahead and take the Browns. The Browns are not important to me in this particular instance. The Druid is, because if it hits the right way, he'll get a couple of free hits. And that's another reason why he got those free hits is simply because I kind of allowed it to happen. I really shouldn't have allowed that to happen, but I did. And that was just by virtue of running, like, you know, the gameplay was a little bit wrong in how I went about it, but I'm not completely salty about that either. Browns are non-important. Reds, yellows are. So I think I'm going to have to at least set up the yellows.
Mana surge.
Set up the yellows. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to set up the blue so I can get my druid. My druid will hit his druid for 16, so it will get me out right here. So it actually worked out to be well. So you saw how the meta works. Even though I ran a different deck, I kind of knew 9 times out of 10 that my deck should beat his deck. And even though I made a few mistakes and the board didn't set up completely right against what I was trying to run, it actually set up to be really well. So I'm not really mad at how that went about, but that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with the meta of the game. I gotta use 3, choose from the Pride Lands. I could do that right now, but I'm not. I don't have anybody there, so let me do this. I did tell you about keys and maybe holding on to keys, and that's very important too. I definitely would say hold on to as many keys as you can. As you well see, I have, wow, 18 magic keys. Wow, that's a lot of magic keys that I'm holding on to right now. That's a lot of magic keys. I didn't think I had that many magic keys that I was holding on to, but cool. I'm not mad. What I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to crack open maybe 3 of these because I'm curious.
Ultra rare.
Give me some help. Give me some help. Because what I said about the keys, and I'll reiterate these keys really fast before I jump off. The one thing about the keys that are very important, you really want to hold on to your keys going forward, because when they do this changeover, these magic keys are going to be these magic keys are going to be essential. Let me rephrase it. To developing your trait stones, and when you're getting your cards and developing your trait stones, that's where they're going to come into real play. So what I would suggest is hold on to as many keys as you can. Got a Luther. Hold on to these keys as much as you can. The only reason why I'm doing a couple of them because I'm on stream and I know I'll have enough keys. I can recoup these keys really fast. Being on a good squad, being on a good guild is going to be important. If you're not on a good guild, you definitely should be connected with a good guild where you could kind of get a lot of these keys built up really fast. And I'm pretty sure the reason why I have a lot of these keys currently is simply because I have a lot of people who are working in conjunction with me to make sure these keys happen. So like right now, being able to get 12 keys is going to be premium to my squad next. And like I said, shout out to my squad, LaRocca. Y'all see the team right there. Shout outs to them. They're part of the reason why I'm able to be a little bit more efficient too, because they give me the keys and the gem structure and things that I need in order to be effective too. So connect up with a good squad. I have my squad. I have one of my squad leaders. He's watching on stream right now. If you want to link up with the squad, you got to holler at him. I'm not the squad leader for LaRocca. I have other people who are holding that down. I'm just happy to be a part with them. So link up with a good guild. That's going to be important, especially going forward. Guilds are going to be at a premium too, because you're going to need a lot of push to get a lot of these aspects when the new Gems Award changeover takes place, probably within a week, maybe 2 weeks or so going forward. So that's what it is there. So I'm going to sign off for today. I'll definitely be on the sticks tomorrow. I definitely appreciate y'all rocking with your boy. It's definitely an honor to do it. I have to go in the trenches and get some video footage up on top 5 games of all time, personal top 5s. And like I said, if y'all definitely want to get in on that discussion, I'm definitely in the process of breaking down people's top 5s and why they picked them as top 5s and why I would feel that they could be worthy contenders of being top 5 in my personal top 5 too. So if you want to get in that discussion, let me know. If you want to see that game footage, that should be, hopefully the begins of it should be up maybe by Friday or Saturday. And we'll go from there. For that and anything else, definitely hit me on the YouTube page. You see it at the bottom. Hit me on the Twitter page if y'all need to communicate with me for any reason. Twitter at NerdBoyFresh. Hit me on the Twitter page, of course. I definitely check it from time to time, so leave me a message. If you want to get your game on, no matter what it is, send me a friend request. True indeed. Send me a friend request. I'm definitely on the sticks more often than not, so I'll definitely try to make it a point to get my game on with you. So until the next time, we're going to do it again tomorrow. Same time, Gems Award tomorrow. Same time, between 9 and 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. Probably rock for like a good 45 minutes to an hour. We'll go from there. We'll do it again soon. God above everything, from the Holy Circle family. Salute.